Hello there, I'm Brandon Wong and you're watching Nightline. The headlines. Jokowi leads Indonesia's presidential race. And police seek Interpol's assistance to nab suspect behind Kim River pollution. Good morning. Partial early results from the Indonesian election show incumbent President Joko Widodo taking a lead over longtime rival and former military strongman Prabowo Subianto. An initial count of Wednesday's ballots put Widodo, or fondly known as Jokowi, at around 55% of the vote, with Prabowo winning around 44%. Most pre-election opinion polls had given Jokowi a double-digit lead, though he had copped criticism from analysts and former supporters who say he had failed to deliver on issues such as human rights and compromised his values of pluralism to secure political points. The final official results will be announced by May the 22nd. Widodo, in his immediate response after unofficial results put him in a comfortable lead over Prabowo, has urged all his supporters to be patient and wait for the official count by the Election Commission. He also called for all Indonesians to remain united in developing the country.
Marilah kita kembali bersatu sebagai saudara sebangsa dan setanah air. Setelah Pileg dan Pilpres ini menjalin dan merawat persatuan, kerukunan kita dan persaudaraan kita sebagai saudara sebangsa dan setanah air.
Some 192.8 million people were eligible to vote across the archipelago's 17,000 islands in what is the world's biggest direct presidential election. It's been billed as one of the most complicated single-day ballots ever undertaken. For the first time, Indonesia held its presidential and legislative elections on the same day, with more than 245,000 candidates running for over 20,000 seats. More than 800,000 polling stations and 6 million election workers helped to pull it off. Only the Indian elections are bigger, with 900 million people eligible to vote, and it is held over a period of almost 6 weeks. Indonesia's elections takes place over just 6 hours. Indonesians were actually asked to cast 5 ballots for the president and vice president, for members of the 575-seat House of Representatives, for the Regional Representative Council or Senate, provincial legislatures, and district and city councils. The polling process began at 7 a.m. local time, and voters had until 1 p.m. to cast their ballots before polls closed and the counting started. Ensuring this mega poll in the world's third-largest democracy would go off without a hitch was a logistical feat, with election workers traveling by boat to remote islands, scaling mountains to reach hilltop villages, and trekking through jungles, sometimes on horses, to bring ballot boxes within range of every voter. And with us now is our multimedia journalist, Nadia Mohsin, who is in Jakarta covering the Indonesian election. Well, Nadia, it is widely known that Jokowi has won the race. Are there any celebrations being held by the winning party?
Well, Brandon, there have been no clear celebration or declaration of victory from neither Jokowi nor Prabowo. This is due to the prohibition by the EC regarding the latest election regulation, which does not allow any party or candidate to declare victory until the official results are announced next month. Well, supporters of each camp have been gathering to monitor the result of the quick count, after which they are dispersed. In the past, the process towards obtaining the official result have been often a lengthy one, since it allows a period of rebuttal if either party is not satisfied with the decision. Prabowo, for one, has stated his concern, including accusation of fraud being committed at a polling center. Well, for your information, the result obtained today are the result of the quick count. Regarding rumors that there may be violence or riot at this point, well, anything can happen, especially if some are not satisfied with the result of the quick count. Well, however, security forces have been asked to be on guard for the duration of the next few days and to be prepared for any possibility of violence. Back to you, Brandon.
Thank you, Nadia. Police have filed an application for the assistance of the International Police Interpol to arrest a Singaporean who was responsible for the Kim River pollution in Pasir Gudang on March the 7th. Johor Police Chief Datuk Muhammad Khalil Kadir Muhammad said the arrest of the man was important to complete the investigation into the case. Datuk Muhammad Khalid said the Singaporean sought is also a partner of a tyre factory company.
Kita ada seorang lagi warga Singapura yang kita telah pun menghantar documentation yang perlu untuk kita dapatkan dia secara mengikut lunas undang-undang. Jadi itu sebenarnya ada satu lagi yang kita belum lagi selesai dalam tindakan kita. Kita dah hantar. Kita dah proses, kita dah buat. Maksudnya kita request kepada pihak kuasa hukum. Yes, kita akan request. Terus kita punya Interpol.
He was asked to comment on the progress of investigations on the Kim River pollution case in Pasir Gudang, Johor. On March 25th, a director of a tyre factory in Pasir Gudang, including a Singaporean, were charged at the Johor Bahru Sessions Court on 15 counts for failing to comply with clean air monitoring and scheduled waste disposal at Kim River. Prior to that, 2 directors and a lorry driver were also charged at the same court for disposing of the substance into the river, which affected nearly 6,000 residents and forced the closure of 111 schools. On to the trial of Datuk Sri Muhammad Najib Tun Razak at the Kuala Lumpur High Court. The 4th day of Datuk Sri Najib's trial involving the alleged misappropriation of 42 million ringgit of SRC International Sendirian Berhad funds saw a Bank Negara Malaysia BNM manager denying on Wednesday that he was being briefed by certain quarters not to tell the truth in the hearing. The second witness in the trial, Azizul Adzani Abdul Ghaffar, who is the manager of BNM's Financial Intelligence and Enforcement Department, said he also disagreed with the suggestion by Datuk Sri Najib's counsel, Havinderjit Singh, that he was hiding something in connection with the case. When referred to a police report which he lodged after conducting the raid at the Jalan Raja Chulan Embang branch on July the 6th, 2015, Azizul said he also knew that the report he made had to be true. When asked if he had received a briefing from any quarter to attend the hearing and not tell the truth, Azizul said no. He also denied that his testimony was untrue and that he had nothing to hide. Also on Wednesday, the 4th witness in the trial, the BNM officer who ordered the raid on the Jalan Raja Chulan Embang branch, told the High Court that he did so because there was suspicion of illicit banking activity. Ahmad Farhan Sharifuddin said he received orders from the Financial Intelligence and Enforcement Department to investigate the Mbank Group over a suspected offence under the Anti-Money Laundering, Anti-Terrorism Financing and Proceeds of Unlawful Activities Act 2001. Ahmad Farhan was the investigating officer in charge of the case and instructed a team to seize evidence from the branch office. The documents seized were eventually handed over to the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission (MACC) in May 2018. The trial before Justice Muhammad Nazlan Muhammad Ghazali continues. The public hearing of the Royal Commission of Inquiry, RCI, on human trafficking and mass graves in Wang Kelian, Perlis began on Wednesday with the first witness, Corporal Mat Ten, from the 3rd Battalion of the General Operations Force in Bedong Kedah, called to testify. The 58-year-old told the RCI how he discovered the human trafficking camps near the border on January the 18th, 2015. Mat Ten said soap bubbles found in a stream led to the shocking discovery of illegal migrants locked in camps, wooden cages and eventually mass graves in Wang Kelian. He said he also discovered an unattended shop, observation posts and wooden bridges between trees, describing it like a scene from a Rambo movie. He and his partner, Corporal Yusuf Islam Hassan, then returned to their base in Wang Kelian to report to their superior. RCI Chairman Tun Arifin Zakaria said the Commission would act according to the terms of reference in its investigation, as well as look into the procedures implemented by the authorities during and after the discovery. Tun Arifin said the RCI will, among others, study all documents and evidence on the matter. After the hearing session, he said the Commission would submit recommendations to the government on actions and improvements to be taken. A report of the investigation will also be submitted to the Yang di-Pertuan Agong. The hearing continues on Thursday. The proposed Pulau Pinang Undersea Tunnel and 3 paired roads projects have nothing to do with the graft case involving a former Datuk Sri businessman charged with cheating the contractor of the project. Thus, Chief Minister Chow Kon Yeow said the state government will proceed with the 6.3 billion ringgit infrastructure project as its developer had been cleared of graft charges by the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission, MACC. Chow said Consortium Zenith Construction Sendirian Berhad, as well as its Senior Executive Director Zarul Ahmad Muhammad Zulkifli, have received 2 letters from the MACC clearing them of any impropriety.
Letters have been issued to the effect that they have completed and no charges will be preferred against the person and the company. So it is considered a closed matter as far as we are concerned. And we are still working with the company to finalize the agreement so that the work can proceed.
Chong was responding to a call by the Centre to Combat Corruption and Cronyism, C4, for the project to be shelved pending a probe by the graftbuster. He said the ongoing court case is not against Zarul Ahmad or the company for corruption, but against an individual who conned the former to obtain large sums of money. The National Water Services Commission, SPAN, in a statement on Wednesday said that there are no plans by the Commission to reoperate the Ayaganda water treatment plant in Greek Perak as there are still traces of arsenic. It said the water treatment plant has traces of arsenic of more than 0.02 milligram per litre, which is much higher than the permissible 0.01 milligram per litre level set by the Health Ministry. The Ayaganda treatment plant had a capacity of 0.68 million litres per day and used to supply water to about 312 user accounts in Kampung Ayaganda. Since it was shut down, the Baga Air Perak has since been supplying water to residents in the affected area by using 9 tank lorries and also 13 static water tanks placed at strategic locations. Meanwhile, SPAN chairman Charles Santiago stressed that the plant would remain closed until there was a letter by the Health Ministry verifying that the water was safe to be consumed and that there were no more arsenic poisoning. He added as a long-term measure, LAP has also started installing pipes from Lawin water treatment plant to supply water to Kampung Ayaganda.
Catch the auto segment every Friday on Nightline! Woo!
Welcome back. The Kuala Lumpur High Court on Wednesday fixed May 17 for mention of former Prime Minister Datuk Seri Muhammad Najib Tun Razak's case on 3 money laundering charges involving 27 million ringgit of SRC International Sendirian Berhad funds 5 years ago. High Court Judge Muhammad Zaini Mazlan fixed the date after case management with Deputy Public Prosecutor Datuk Ishak Muhammad Yusof and lawyer Tan Sri Muhammad Shafi Abdullah, who is representing Datuk Sri Najib. Datuk Sri Najib was slapped with 7 charges relating to SRC funds totaling 42 million ringgit on July the 4th last year. He was then slapped with 3 more money laundering charges involving 27 million ringgit of SRC funds on February the 8th this year. Initially, the 2 cases were supposed to be jointly tried as they involved the same subject matter. Datuk Isha said both parties were involved in another case until May the 10th. Justice Zaini then agreed to fix the case for further mention on May the 17th for the prosecution to serve more documents to the defence team. Meanwhile, the Kuala Lumpur High Court has fixed 15 days from February the 3rd next year to hear the case of former Malaysia External Intelligence Organisation MEIO Director General Datuk Hassana Abdul Hamid, who is charged with criminal breach of trust, CBT, of 50.4 million ringgit belonging to the government. Judge Colin Lawrence Sequeira set the dates when the case came up for case management on Wednesday. He also fixed May 25th for further case management. Earlier, 61-year-old Datuk Hassana claimed trial to the charge after it was read out to her again. She was charged in her capacity as a civil servant with committing the offence at the office of the Director General Research Division, Prime Minister's Department, Putrajaya, between April 30th and May the 9th, 2018. The charge under the Penal Code carries a maximum jail term of 20 years and whipping and a fine upon conviction. In Pulau Pinang, 30 individuals, including 24 Road Transport Department RTD personnel, were remanded for a week over graft investigations involving a syndicate offering protection to lorry drivers who flouted traffic regulations. The remand order, effective Wednesday, was issued by Senior Assistant Registrar Nur Farina Zulkhairi. The 30 individuals were taken to the Georgetown Magistrates Court at about 10 a.m. on Wednesday. The case is being probed under the Malaysian Anti-Corruption MACC Act 2009. The MACC detained 33 individuals on Tuesday to assist in the case. Of the arrest, 8 individuals, including 3 women who have since been released on bail, were civilians who acted as proxies or tonto and company proprietors. It is understood that those detained were among 75 JPJ officials currently being monitored. Apart from receiving payments totaling about 10,000 to 32,000 ringgit on a monthly basis to protect lorry drivers who commit road offences, the suspects were also believed to have leaked information on the department's operations. MACC Deputy Chief Commissioner Datuk Sri Azam Baki did not rule out the possibility that more would be called in during the course of the probe. In Negeri Sembilan, 2 Immigration Department enforcement officers have been remanded for 3 days until Friday for alleged bribery involving 21,000 ringgit. The remand order on the officers aged 31 and 35 were issued by Magistrate Rahima Rahim following an application by the MACC. The money was believed to be given by an employer of 4 Indonesians who were detained by the Immigration Department in December for working at a restaurant without valid permits. The suspects were believed to have demanded 22,000 ringgit from the employer as an inducement not to prosecute his workers. Over in Perak, a female caregiver was charged at the Sessions Court in Ipoh on Wednesday on charges of abusing a 6-month-old baby girl under her care in Manjung, Perak last year. The accused, 27-year-old Nur Amira Dayana Muhammad Darus, however, pleaded not guilty after the charge was read before Judge Azman Abu Hassan. She was charged under the Child Act 2001 and could face a maximum jail term of 20 years or a fine of up to 50,000 ringgit upon conviction. The court set bail at 5,000 ringgit with one surety and fixed May 17 for remention of the case. In Pahang, the State Fire and Rescue Department said that a fire that broke out at the Malaysia-China Kuantan Industrial Park in Gebang, Kuantan on Tuesday night did not originate from a factory owned by Alliance Steel Sendirian Berhad. Its director, Nur Hisham Muhammad, confirmed that there were no casualties in the incident, which went viral on social media. Initial investigation revealed that a power outage had interrupted the coal burning process, prompting the automatic security system to be activated. This led to excess gas being released through the funnels to prevent pressure buildup, which caused the flames seen in the viral video. A used car dealership was razed to the ground in a fire incident in Port Dickson, Negeri Sembilan, early on Wednesday. 16 vehicles as well as 2 offices were destroyed in the blaze, which caused hundreds of thousands of ringgit in losses. The cause of the fire and actual amount of losses are still under investigation. Still to come on Nightline. 6 killed after plane hits house in Chile. Details next. Welcome back. In South Korea, a man set his flat on fire and then stabbed other residents as they tried to flee, killing 5 people on Wednesday. 13 others were also injured in the incident that took place in Jeonju in the south of the country. According to police, the 42-year-old suspect set fire to his own flat located on the 4th floor of a residential building at around 4 a.m. local time. He then went down to the 2nd floor where he attacked residents coming out of the corridor with a knife. The victims include a 12-year-old girl, a man in his 70s, 2 women in their 60s, and one woman in her 30s. He was later detained at the scene after another resident alerted the police. The motive of the incident is still being investigated. Over in Chile, authorities have opened a probe into a plane crash in the southern city of Puerto Montt, which killed 6 people on board, including the pilot, on Wednesday. According to local authorities, the small plane carrying 6 people crashed around 11 a.m. local time. It is understood that the aircraft crashed after it got tangled in power lines before crashing into a house after taking off from La Paloma Airport, which is 1,000 kilometers south of Santiago. Fortunately, no one was in the house during the time of the crash. The aircraft reportedly was owned by Archipelago Company, which operates commercial flights in the region that is difficult to access. Out of the FA Cup. Stay tuned. On to cycling, the 2019 Tour d'Iskandar Johor. Ryan Roth of Team X Speed United Continental Access U made a bright start into the race as he emerged victorious in stage 1 of the race from Iskandar Putri to Batu Pahaton Wednesday. Johor Menteri Besar Dr. Shahrudin Jamal flagged off the race involving 108 riders from 22 teams at Dataran Mahkota in Iskandar Putri at noon. Roth reached Dataran Penggaram in Batu Pahat in a bunched finish, clocking 2 hours 35 minutes and 3 seconds. Matthew Zanovic of St. George Continental Cycling and this year's La Tour de Langkawi winner Benjamin Dibol of Team Sapura Cycling were credited with the same time but finished second and third respectively. Following the win, Roth donned 2 jerseys. He bagged the white jersey as King of Sprint and the blue jersey as the overall leader. Ivan Butnik of XSU grabbed the black jersey as Best Young Rider, while Zanovic claimed the red jersey as the King of the Mountains. Muhammad Shukri Muhammad Saiful Adlan was the best local rider after finishing in 2 hours 35 minutes and 22 seconds. The second stage will commence on Thursday, covering 172.4 kilometers from Dataran Tanjung Emas, Muar to Yongpeng, passing through Sungai Mati, Tangkak, Jementa, Segamat, Tenang, Labis and Cha. From the 3 Series up till the newly relaunched 8 Series, BMW had chosen the best platform, the Shanghai Auto Show, to make bold statements to the world on how they want to conquer all roads across the globe. Take a look at these powerful machines as we wrap up this edition of Nightline. I'm Brandon Wong. Thank you for your company.